This is Getting On with Life, Biblical Wisdom for Successful Christian Living. And this lesson is, Your Words Betray You. With instant communication and multiple social media platforms, there is a great deal of chatter going on in one form or another these days. And that has brought to light some serious issues in our social interaction, including hasty speaking that we regret. Years ago, when communication was not so instant, we had time to react to someone, feel upset, and then process those feelings. Thankfully, we were unable to speak our mind in an instant message, as we could have said things we would regret. However, now we can blurt out anything and speak our mind freely and instantly, and we get to regret it over the long term. What's more, there is now a written record of our thoughts, opinions, accusations, scathing abuse, anger, and so on. So let's take a moment to consider a few of the dangers centered around our hasty speech. Hopefully this won't apply to you. We are warned that in a great pile of words you will likely find things that are wrong or sinful. In Proverbs 10:19, Solomon warned us, "In the multitude of words sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise." Speaking hastily is dangerous, and we are warned not to be quick to speak our mind. Ecclesiastes 5:2 says, "Be not rash with your mouth, nor let your heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven and you are on earth. Therefore let thy words be few." And James 1:19 says, "My beloved brothers, understand this, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger." Our words betray our foolishness and the evil in our heart. If we speak, we expose ourselves, making display of our folly or the other evil things springing from within us. In Matthew 12:34, Jesus said, "Your mouth speaks out those things that fill your heart." And in Proverbs 17:28, Solomon said, "Even a fool, when he remains quiet, is counted wise, and he that shuts his lips is thought to be a man of understanding." We have an example from the life of Joseph, where his brothers hated him. Consequently, they were unable to speak nicely to him. Genesis 37:4 records, "When Joseph's brothers saw that their father loved him more than all the others, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably to him." Oops! Do you expose your heart so easily? Are there people you struggle to be nice to because your heart is full of ill will toward them? Do your words betray you and show that you have something unpleasant inside you? If you speak your mind on impulse, then you expose the condition of your heart for all to see. If you love money, your speech will betray that. If you have unclean thoughts, then your speech will betray that. If you hold resentment, selfishness, pride, greed, or any other ugly thing, your words will betray you. Another aspect of this is to look at what you are always talking about. What is it that keeps coming up in your conversations? Do you speak about the Lord or about yourself? Do you speak about building God's kingdom or about building your own world? Do you speak about lovely things or speak scorn and contempt on people? Do you speak wholesome words that encourage, or criticism and fault-finding? Do you speak pure talk, or lewd and suggestive things? Is your tongue filled with curses and blasphemy? James 3:2 says, "If anyone does not stumble or offend in word, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle the whole body." Since our words are a real danger zone for us, we are wise to be careful about everything we say, and may be wiser to keep silent. Proverbs 13:3 says, "He who guards his mouth protects his life, but he who opens his lips invites his own ruin." And Proverbs 21:23 says, "He who guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from distress." So, even though it is ever so easy to ping off a message or text in any direction, or to blurt out what you are thinking, make sure you stop and take stock of what you are about to say first. It may be best to not reply or say anything at all. Another thing about pouring out your words is that it makes you look like a fool, and possibly because you are. Foolish people are keen to say what comes to mind. Proverbs 29:11 warns, "A fool utters all his mind, but a wise man keeps it in until later." And Proverbs 12:23 says, "A shrewd man keeps his knowledge to himself, but a foolish heart proclaims its folly." Sadly, I realize that as a young man I loved to speak my mind, trying to seem educated and informed or thoughtful and intelligent. Many of those around me kept silent, and some of them knew what a jerk I was, because they were truly informed, but kept their knowledge private. Much of what I spouted was mere uninformed opinion. A little knowledge was a dangerous thing in my mouth. But what was speaking from my heart was my insecurity and my pride, needing to be approved and liked. So words were a tool I hoped would get me respect and attention. I was a perfect example of the mouth speaking out of the abundance of my heart. Friends, please take stock of your words and your pattern of communication. Ask God to rescue you from folly that speaks its mind, or the need to impress people, or evils in your heart that come pouring out of your mouth. Take to God all those things you find are mixed in your speech, turning a problem into a cure as you recognize that your words betray you. God bless you.